My guest tonight was one of my very first friends when I moved to Colorado. We have worked at many jobs together. She's taken me from place to place to place, kind of made me who I am today work-wise. And I like to call her my Colorado sister. Here is Jennifer Glassburn. Hey, Jen, welcome to Quarantini Time.
Hi, Laura.
Thank you for calling me that. I know that is what your husband calls me. So hello, Jonathan and Jennifer.
I don't know if you heard him, but yes, he said hi.
What are you drinking tonight?
Oh, so I'm not a great planner, let's be honest. I just wing it my life 90% of the time. So this is just what I had. Some Mike's hard pineapple mandarin lemonade, and I've never had it before in my life, and it just sounded good, and so that's what I'm drinking. What do you got?
I got a Laura Carranza margarita with tequila and simply limeade. So kind of in the same wheelhouse, but not really. So we've known each other for quite some time since both of us pretty much moved to Colorado.
Listen, I have outranked Lori, Rebecca. Who else in Colorado have you known longer that you still talk to today?
Nobody. So this is why we call each other Colorado sisters, because we basically are. So I would like to know, am I your favorite non-related sister? Because I know I don't compare with the real sisters.
Sister Sheila, Sister Debbie, Sister Sherry, which I talked to all of them today. Yeah. Because I always tell people, I'm like, my best friend in Colorado, even though we don't talk, is Laura.
We don't talk a lot, but you know what? That doesn't change anything. Right. We get together once a year for Christmas cookie extravaganza. We get a bunch of the friends together and we make so many Christmas cookies in one day.
I don't know that I'm going to have that this year again because I'm going to be homeless.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit about your homelessness. How many years have we been doing the Christmas cookie extravaganza?
I think we hit 15 years.
That's crazy that we've been, and it went from just you and me in your kitchen. We started at the Cayley house, and then we went to the Westminster house. But
like 1 year?
Yeah, it was you and me, and we would bake for an entire weekend. And we came up with dozens and dozens and dozens. And we would do the Glorso-McCabe cutouts and decorate them like crazy.
With the red mittens.
Then we learned that that was just crazy and stupid for just the two of us to do it.
Do we get to swear on the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Because that was fucking hard to do all those mittens. And took so much time. I think in 2018, we went to like miniature ones that were like this big instead of the whole big cookies. They were like this. And we were just like, flat, they're done. Which your mom, who I adore, by the way, would be so mad because they're not like all of those. It's just like slathered of like frosting. I don't even know if it's made frosting. We may have gotten it out of a jar even. I don't know.
Well, but then we invited kids in on it and let them decorate all the cookies and all hell broke loose. And then we stopped letting kids help. So with all of the cookies that we make now, we make many, many different types of cookies and treats around Christmas time. What is your favorite one that we make?
I actually bought the supplies for it this week. It's the square pretzels that look like a Tic Tac board with a Rolo on top. And I'm cheap, so I cut the Rolo in half, so it's only half of a Rolo. And then you just melt them together. And when we're making them, we set them outside to cool them, and they're just amazing.
Those are. My favorite is probably still the cornflake wreaths.
Do you remember when we made, like waffle iron something?
Oh, waffle cookies will always and forever be my favorite, but my mom makes them for me now, so why stress over that? So speaking of you being homeless, you are currently prepping your house to be sold because you are building a new house out in the country, even further away from me. Why are you selling your house before your other house is ready?
Well, let's back this up to like January. So January, I didn't even think we were moving out. I love our house. We finished the basement a couple of years ago. I like our street. I like our neighbors. Like nothing wrong with this house. However, husband has always wanted land. So we had to come to an agreement on how far out I was willing to go and what I wanted from land and what he wanted from land. And once I like opened the gates and said, okay, here's what I'm willing to do. Of course, he went and found something that matched that. So it is a Parker address, but it is near Elizabeth, and it is 35 acres, and it has a pond, and it has ravines, and it's really pretty, and it has mountain views like peak to peak. So we are super excited. And so why are we selling before? We thought we should try to sell while the market was good and get our house sold, because we are paying for land right now. So it's almost like we have an extra half house payment. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to list it at the end of this month. And if it doesn't sell right away, then we have it in our budget to keep it. And so we'll just play it by ear, I guess, and see what happens. I'm going through room by room and closet and getting rid of things, and it's exhausting.
So with all this extra time at home, because you're working from home, this gives you hopefully more time to get stuff done, more time than you thought you originally had.
Absolutely not. I am working from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., Laura. No, actually, I'm working on a project, so I actually do have a lot of work to do, and it's very challenging having London home, because rightfully so, she deserves my attention too, and I have to stop what I'm doing. And I know there's a statistic out there, it takes however long to get back on task. It's really hard. So whenever Jonathan gets home, he takes London and spends time with her, and then I can work. So yeah, I mean, I can like step away from my desk and take breaks and like maybe go switch laundry around, but most of the work I've done on the house, painting and clearing things out, have been on my days off.
This was supposed to be our time together to do stuff, because I like to volunteer for house projects with you. And now I can't come help you because I am on the quarantine and we have to talk to each other like this.
And by the way, we had a pallet delivered of mulch from Lowe's, and I thought of you because there were, I think, 75 bags of mulch that Jonathan did all by himself. Unlike the time you helped us with that dirt, which took all day.
And I was so very sore. I will never forget that. Don't worry. Is there anything that you and Jonathan or London are binge watching on TV right now during all this?
I watched Poldark, and Jonathan did not want to participate in that. It's a PBS show, and it is not his thing. So I watched that on my own. And he said it's boring, and he hears the intro and falls asleep. We started watching Joe Exotic, and that's just wacky. I think we've only gotten through 3 episodes. That's it. I'm looking for more good ones to watch.
So at the end of every show, I like to do this questionnaire. It's based off of James Lipton, who I adore, and I've put a COVID-19 spin on it. So are you ready for the questionnaire?
I am ready, yes. And the only one, I've watched your show, and the only one I remember is like, what's your favorite word? So I'm ready for that one, and that's the only one I remember. So go ahead.
Well, what's your favorite word?
I don't have one. I love sayings. If you come into my house, there are sayings in every room. So I picked one. Okay. Eventually, all the pieces fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moment, and know that everything happens for a reason.
What is your least favorite word?
Cunt is a pretty bad one. The N-word's a pretty that's an absolute no-go ever in my world. So that's a bad one too.
Who would you most like to be in a stay-at-home quarantine with?
Okay, so I'll take all the people that I'm currently quarantined with out of this scenario, because they're my favorite people, right? You know, I always think celebrities aren't really like real people. We don't really know who they are. So my mom had, for those of you listening who don't know, Laura knows, but my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in about this time last year, May of last year. And so every day that I get to still talk to her is a blessing, and yeah, so I'd spend it with her.
Who would you least like to be in a stay-at-home quarantine with?
You know, I don't really hate or dislike anyone. I'm a pretty forgiving person, but the type of person I wouldn't like to be with is someone who wants to talk all the time, because I really like quiet, and people who complain all the time. Like,
what is your favorite curse word?
I don't know. Fuck.
What sound or noise do you love?
Oh, we were out at the land yesterday, and I heard birds chirping, and it was just so peaceful. So I would say just nature.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Like the chalkboard scratching thing is bad.
If you could only have one type of food during a stay-at-home quarantine, what would it be?
I like cereal a lot, so I could do cereal. I'm really not a foodie, so I grew up and our treats was cereal. So I could do cereal. I'm having burritos, but they're like the $1.79 burritos, or the cheap burritos. So yeah, I'm actually losing a little bit of weight, I think, with this.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
I am fascinated and admire like scientists or engineers who can figure things out. I don't think I couldn't attempt it. I'm not detail oriented enough to do that, but I think they are geniuses. So I would like to be one of them.
What profession other than yours would you not like to do?
I would not make a good doctor because I do faint at blood, which was a problem when London was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, because we had to give her shots and I got woozy, and that was not good. So I don't think I'd make a good doctor, and I don't think I'd make a good lawyer because I don't like to argue.
And the last question tonight, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well, I do believe heaven exists, and welcome. We've been waiting for you.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight on Quarantini Time.
I will continue following you, Lorha, until we are able to have breakfast again soon.